Every movie makes a promise, not with its story, not with its characters, but with its marketing. Before we ever buy a ticket, the movie has already started. Every trailer, every interview, every poster, every viral clip is telling us what to expect. Sometimes those expectations become the movie itself. And that's exactly what happened to me. Before I watched Maa Inti Bangaram, there was one image I couldn't escape: Samantha fighting in a sari. It was everywhere: television interviews, social media, promotional events, news headlines. The message felt clear. This wasn't just another commercial entertainer. This was going to be an action spectacle. Naturally, my expectations changed. But after the credits rolled, I walked out with one question: was I disappointed by the movie or by the expectations it created? And strangely, another film gave me the answer. Not because it promised more, but because it promised exactly what it delivered. This is the last piece. Sometimes a single sari scene sells an entire movie. One dialogue, one emotional moment, one action sequence. In the case of Mindy Bangaram, that scene was Samantha's sari fight. To be fair, it deserved attention. Performing action in a sari is physically demanding. It looked visually striking. And Samantha spoke publicly about how challenging those sequences were during promotion. There was nothing wrong with celebrating that effort. The problem, at least for me, was what happened next. That one sequences slowly became the identity of the film. Everywhere I looked, it was the same image, the same action shot, the same promise. I stopped expecting a good movie. I started expecting an unforgettable action experience. Here is something interesting. Sometimes marketing doesn't lie, it simply shows us the best 5 minutes, and our imagination fills in the remaining 2 hours. That's exactly what happened to me. The movie wasn't bad, the action sequence wasn't bad, but because the moment had been promoted so heavily, I expected the rest of the film to consistently reach that same level. For me, it didn't. And that's when I realized there is a difference between enjoying a movie and feeling that it lived up to the expectations created before release. Sometimes expectation becomes the biggest critic. A few days later, I watched Blast. This time, my expectations were simple. I knew it was built around karate. I expected action, nothing more, nothing less. And maybe that's why the experience surprised me. Instead of trying to convince me it was revolutionary, the movie simply focused on delivering entertaining action. One performance especially caught my attention: Abhirami's fight sequences. Watching her perform intense action while wearing a sari felt genuinely impressive to me. Yet, those moments weren't everywhere on social media. They weren't presented as the defining image of the film. They simply existed inside the story. And because I discovered them while watching, they felt earned. Preeti Mukundan also left a positive impression on me, adding to the overall experience. Again, that's my personal reaction as a viewer, not a claim that everyone will feel the same way. Then it hit me. This wasn't really about comparing two movies, it was about comparing two expectations. One film kept telling me, wait until you see this. The other quietly said, "This is the movie." And somehow that made all the difference. Marketing is powerful, it creates excitement, it builds anticipation, but sometimes it also builds a version of the movie that no film can fully live up to. Maybe Maa Inti Bangaram wasn't the problem. Maybe Blast wasn't perfect either. Maybe the real difference was the promise. Because every trailer is a promise, every interview is a promise, every promotional campaign is a promise. And when that promise becomes bigger than the experience itself, the audience doesn't live disappointed because the movie was bad. They leave disappointed because they watched a different movie inside their imagination. Maybe that's the last chapter marketing can never control, because once the lights go out, the audiences write the final review. Every headline leaves behind a question, every question leaves behind a clue, and sometimes the most important story isn't the movie we were sold, it is the one we actually watched. Until next time, keep looking for the last piece. Before you leave, tell me, what do you think was the last piece missing from this story? Was it marketing, the expectations, or something else entirely? Leave your answer below, because the best conversations don't end with the video, they begin after it.